So far in the story of Ruth, we have seen how Naomi and her two daughters-in-law had found themselves widowed. With no breadwinners to support them, this must have been a time of great anxiety and stress. We only have to think of the pain we have seen on the faces of those who have lost loved ones during the current pandemic to realize the pain these three women must have gone through. Naomi decides to go back to her roots in Bethlehem, so she sets out from Moab, where she has been living. Her daughters-in-law set off with her, but one turns back at Naomi's suggestion. The other, Ruth, after much pleading and discussion, decides to stay with Naomi. This would have been a difficult and dangerous journey across semi-desert and scrub land. Naomi at this time feels that God has abandoned her, and when she gets back to Bethlehem, she tells the people that she meets not to call her Naomi any longer, but Mara, meaning bitter or bitter one. Ruth and Naomi arrive in Bethlehem just as the harvest of barley is being gathered in. Ruth suggests that she should go and glean in the fields, a practice that has been laid down in the law as a way of providing for the poor. She finds herself in a field belonging to Boaz, a leading citizen of Bethlehem and a kinsman of Naomi's husband, Elimelech. When Boaz arrives at the field, he greets his workers by saying, "The Lord be with you." Not a greeting many of us would have had when we first arrive at work in the morning. This tells us that Boaz is a God-fearing man who has respect for those who work for him. He inquires about Ruth, and on being told who she is, takes care of her and protects her. When she asks why he is being so attentive, he says that he admires the way that she has taken care of Naomi, and he asks that the God of Israel blesses her. He ensures that Ruth has plenty of grain to take back to Naomi. The relief that Naomi felt when Ruth returned with such an abundance of food must have been one of great joy and thanksgiving. She now knows that God has not abandoned her, and she feels that she can confidently face the future. So we can see how God has been working his plan out through these first two chapters, and we will now see how in chapter 3 his plan for Ruth and Boaz moves forward.